Hello, good morning, and welcome to Belgium. Yesterday in my video when I said I'm going somewhere what you can find on your Christmas dinner plate or your Thanksgiving plate, you all thought Turkey, right? So it's not Turkey, it's a lot colder than it is in Turkey where we are. So I said it was 5.5 hours from where I live. Now that is because 5.5 hours from where I live, you drive down to Folkestone in Kent in England, and then you catch the Eurostar across, and then it's just an 1.5-hour drive when you get off I can't even get my teeth in. To be honest, I've got a bloody abscess. So we've driven into Belgium, and we're now in a place called Ghent, or Ghent, Ghent, but it's called Ghent. So we're here, we're in this beautiful historic old place. It's got churches, it's got castles, more castles in Belgium than anywhere else in the world. There's canals, there's so much to see and do, but we've literally got 24 hours. I normally don't do food vlogs because I don't like them, but I am going to be telling you about 3 different types of food here, and even the other half. He's like, yeah, we've got to try the local beer, so we're going to get drunk later. So the Channel Tunnel, or Le Château, it is actually 35 miles long from terminal to terminal, and as it goes underneath the sea, 25 miles of it is actually under the water, which makes it the longest undersea tunnel on Earth. These trains, they travel at up to 140 kilometers an hour from terminal to terminal, takes only 35 minutes, and each of these trains are 800 meters long. So that is a lot of football pitches all lined up. Digging the holes, how they originally made them, is an absolutely fantastic little piece of information if you're interested in all that geeky kind of stuff like I am. So there are 3 tunnels, so one running one way, one running another way, and what they call a service tunnel, which personally it's just like, if there's an evacuation like there was many years ago when there was that accident where there was the fire. So they used 11 boring machines, right? And they made up to 12,000 tons, which is heavier than the Eiffel Tower. And one was actually so big that they couldn't actually get it back out. So as it was boring through, they just made it turn left. And it's still under the seabed now. So since the year 2000, over 4 million cats and dogs have travelled on the shuttle between France and Great Britain or back again. So we could have even brought Trevcat. And while you're waiting for your train, they have a duty-free store where you can get your booze and your perfumes, and you get lovely friendly staff who come and help you. That lady there, she helped us, she's called Jess, and she said that we made her day, but she's actually made my day. So you're seeing there in the time lapse, you get on and then you drive all the way to the front, that 800 meters long of train, and then once you're into certain carriages, fire doors come down. That's because of a fire incident that did happen on one of the tunnels. In one of the tunnels once upon a time, it was some lorries, and they caught fire. It was on September the 11th, and it raged for something like 16 hours inside of the tunnel. It was the freight tunnel, not the passenger and the car tunnel, but for 16 hours it reached nearly 1,000 degrees inside. Luckily no one passed away, and it cost over 60 million euros to fix, and that was like way back then. But nowadays there's more safety things included, so you have these doors. If there were an incident, you've got your evacuation doors here where you'd go into the service tunnel where you would evacuate and you'd walk along, or trucks would come and get you. So it was in December 1987 where the English started digging from, say, this side, okay? and then they started digging and digging, and then on the French side in February 1998 they started digging, and it was 12 years it took 12 years from each end, working to meet each other. Those giant boring machines we were talking about, the 11 of them, what were all constantly grinding away, getting rid of all the muck, kicking it out behind. It was building the circle of the tunnel behind as it was going. And then, like I said, there's the one that was so big that couldn't get out, so they just veered it off, and it's still under the sea now. So yes, it was 1987, then 1998 where they both started. 12 years later is where the boring machines were pulled back, and then the last few feet were done by hand, where the Englishman and the Frenchman, they actually broke through, and history was made, and the longest undersea tunnel was created.
They're through! They're through! They're through! Hey! There's the handshake!
And there's even a loo. It did take me a while to find it because I went up the stairs, round the stairs, downstairs, everywhere. Yeah, not much to show you really, but there's your toilet. Don't have stink of pee and all. Sink, hand dryer, and the door. That's pretty much it. So, yeah, but at least it's got a loo. Well, sooner that than peeing in a cup, because I've got a bladder like a wasp. I'm not filming. Time for a few fun facts about Belgium. Belgium has one of the largest, longest tramways in the whole world. The longest actual line is 67 kilometers long, and it also has 67 stops as well. Also in Belgium, 5.5 million bicycles razz around everywhere. And let me tell you, the people on the bicycles, they are loco crazy. They literally zoom past you everywhere, along with the e-bikes as well. This absolutely strikingly beautiful church is the Church of the Carmelites, and this church was built in 1703, but before that it was a chapel with a crypt underneath it, and that was built way back when in 1668. The chapel is attached to this church, or should I say the church is attached to the chapel. This is just a couple of minutes walk from like the hustle and bustle of where all the tourists are. It's free to enter, which is beautiful because churches aren't really tourist attractions, but to be allowed to just come in and see how beautiful it is, it's just absolutely breathtakingly beautiful. It really, really is. Along each side of the church there are confession booths. In total there are 7 of them. There's also this absolutely stunningly beautiful, I keep saying the word beautiful because I just don't know other words, this massive organ here, and then also here, look at the size of the pulpit. Wow, and this is just the first one. And this is the entrance to the original chapel. I know it does look modern because they did have to restore it. Unfortunately, it is closed today. But this is the entrance where you can go in, where the original crypts are. Even into the entrance of the old chapel is beautiful wooden carving of this nun. I wish I knew who this was to give you some more information. But if you are going to be coming to Ghent, I would most definitely say come to this little beautiful church just off the beaten track. The official name for Belgium is actually the Kingdom of Belgium. Belgium shares its borders with 4 countries. So you got France, you got Germany, you got Luxembourg and Netherlands, and Belgium has a population of about 12 million people as of 2023. It's covering an area of just under 31,000 square kilometres, and about 2 million people visit Ghent each year. And why I keep almost getting run over is because bicycles have right of way over pedestrians, and they whiz around so fast that I think about 5 people have almost run me over today. Take a look at the architecture just behind me here. It's absolutely beautiful. I'll put a picture up on the screen so you can see it properly. So it once upon a time was the entrance to the old prison, and before it was a prison it was actually an old fish market. They don't sell fish here now, but you'll see at the top there's a man and a woman, and they both symbolise the rivers that run through Ghent. Something everybody will know is here in Belgium is famous for many things, 3 of them being this is where Smurfs, Asterix and the Adventures of Tintin originally came from. We tried to come to the beautiful cathedral you can see here behind me. Unfortunately it's closed, so I thought what I can do is I can tell you a little bit more about Belgium. I don't like doing food vlogs because when I eat I kind of look like a horse eating through a picket fence. But some of the foods Belgium is famous for are French fries, which where they originated from, not in France, chocolate, beer, waffles, and these little beauties, right? These are called combadons. Now, they originated in the 1800s and they only last up to 3 weeks because inside of them there's like a soft centre which is meant to be raspberry flavoured, and they last 3 weeks. That's why they don't get shipped around the world and they only really stay around here. I'm going to give them a whirl and see what they look like. They're also called noses because they're meant to represent what someone's nose looks like. Now, I don't know. Let's give them a whirl. All the little back streets are just full of all this great architecture. But here's where I thought, oh, that was a good catch. I will try this little, what they call delicacy. So it's meant to have like a hard outside. Inside is like the soft jelly, raspberry flavour. Okay, so we'll well, definitely made of sugar. The middle is all soft. That's the bit that solidifies. That's why they can't travel very well. It does have a bit of a taste of raspberry. Can't really taste it. It is a unique flavour. I don't know if I'd rush back for them though. They're absolutely fucking awful. Tastes like nail varnish. Don't fucking waste your money on that. €5 per bag, and I bought someone for a bag for a present. And now my eyes are watering. It's pure chemical. Oh my goodness, welcome inside this absolutely stunning cathedral. This cathedral is called St. Bavo's Cathedral, but it's also known as like St. Bath's Cathedral. It's a Roman Catholic cathedral here in Ghent, in Belgium. It stands 89 metres tall. It opened in 942 AD. It has 7 massive bells up there, which we heard ringing. Stunning. So in 1536, on order of the Emperor Charles V, the centuries-old abbey, it was dissolved, it was finished, so most of the abbey was then demolished after Ghent's uprising in 1540. It was then converted into a military barracks. So it's now back to a cathedral where many tourists visit here each day, and I cannot lie, it's absolutely freezing. I can see my own breath, but it is just amazing. And if you ever come here, you have to come inside and visit. absolutely freezing. I'm going back outside to warm up, even though it's raining out here. But what is gorgeous when you come back outside, Christmas market, and everybody loves Christmas markets. What better way to walk around the Christmas markets in Belgium? This is Hapkin beer. It comes from the west side of Belgium, and on average in Belgium 635 million 635 million litres of beer are drank every year here, so cheers. Probably won't be able to make many more videos after I've drank this. Ooh, that's strong. While we were in the Christmas market, I found this amazing stall, and take a look at this. This is Dimitri. He says that it's science, but it's actually because I'm as hot as Ben Affleck. He hand blows all of these little tubes with water in them. You simply hold the tube, and from the heat from your hand, it starts creating bubbles. And the hotter it gets, the more bubbles there are. So, in effect, I might have had 2 glasses of this Belgian beer. I have a feeling it's because I'm as good looking as Ben Affleck. Can't even say his name because of that beer. Ben Affleck. Look at this. These are so cool. And he makes them all himself. He's from Ghent himself, and he makes them all himself. And his website and company is called Artisan Rise, and you can take a look at the photo I'll put on the screen now, where if you wanted one of these, he can actually post it to you. And then he also makes them into Christmas trees, jukeboxes, beautiful lamps. So I would highly recommend you take a look at the picture I'm going to put up now. Take a look at his stuff. I would definitely buy one if I was you. I know my teeth are not the best, but already I can feel them melting. I've just walked into one of the most amazing chocolate shops here in Ghent, and I don't know what to choose. It's 72 euros, so about £60 for 1 kilogram of chocolate. This is going to be an expensive trip. So halfway through our 24-hour adventure, everything is so expensive because it's tourism, and I bought some waffles for breakfast with some bananas and some strawberries, 2 types of waffles, and it cost us nearly 50 euros just for 4 waffles, banana, some strawberries and some chocolate to go on top. 50 euros. So I'm really quite angry that I fell into that stupid tourist trap. Please don't do that. And there's also this beautiful restaurant which I've seen online. I thought we've got to go there. And one, because it's got a really stupid name. Well, not stupid name, forgive me. It's got a very unique name. It's called Balls and Glory. And I saw it because Cara and Nate, who I follow online, amazing vloggers, travel vloggers, are wonderful. So I thought, right, I'm going to go there. So we've ordered that. They're like big balls, which come on mashed potatoes. So we've got them for dinner for tonight in our apartment. And tomorrow morning, we're going to carry on exploring. We're going to keep doing things, and we'll see what tomorrow brings. And I found a bar, €3 a drink. Cheers. See you tomorrow. Good morning, it's day number 2 here in Ghent in Belgium, and I can safely say I feel like a bag of broken biscuits because of all that beer last night. Not as young as I used to be, but we've only got a few more hours left, so I think we should go exploring and see some more things. Let's rock and roll. So the grown-up responsible one in our relationship has gone to get me coffee because it's like, oh, I'd just like a cup of coffee. No, it's because I'm absolutely rotten. I will never drink Belgian beer again. I went out because wherever I go in the world, I collect Starbucks cups. I never use them, they just stay in the box. I think I've got about 80 to 100 of them now, ranging in prices. And even on the way back from Starbucks last night, I was like, oh, I'm just going to go and get this Starbucks cup. Popped in this bar, was glugging beer really quickly. I feel absolutely broken. But I've got to put on this brave, happy face. So we're just going to go and take a look around, explore, see all the lovely things we can. But there's the little secret for my little adventure. But we've only got 4 hours left, so we've got to get going. When we arrived here yesterday, we actually had 2 bags. We've just had to leave the apartment what we rented, go back to the car park and put everything in. We have 7 bags, so I dread to see how much we've spent over the last 2 days. But while we're here, okay, so behind me, that's the St. Michael's Bridge. Now, it's a huge tourist attraction, but then when you hear why it's a tourist attraction, it's kind of like, oh. So, St. Michael's Bridge, it was built in 1913. Before then, it was a swing bridge to let all the large boats come in and out, because where we are right now, in the city centre, this was the main port for Ghent. So, the boats would come along, they'd moor up on these mooring pins here. This one is from 1861, so these are quite modern. Yeah, so 11th century sailors have been coming here to sell all their worldly goods, and all the churches, the bells are ringing. It's stunningly beautiful. It sounds amazing. And behind there is a Marriott hotel. This is a very old hotel. Marriott have taken it over, but above the doorway there are 2 swans. One's pointing to the left and one's pointing to the right. So I don't know how old the swans are or the tradition of these 2 swans, but I do know what they mean. So you have a swan pointing to the left, and that's pointing towards women. And the one pointing to the right, that's pointing towards beer. So I don't know if it was for when the sailors were mooring up here and they'd see like, oh look, we can go to the left for a bit of nookie, or we can go to the right for a bit of beer. Right behind us here, it is beautiful church. It's called St. Michael's Church, and it started getting built in 1440. It took nearly 400 years to build. Unfortunately, we wanted to show you inside, but it was locked, and I think that's the 3rd church out of 6 we've tried now. Sorry guys. Found our way into a church that was open. This is called St. Nicholas Church, and it was started to be built in the 13th century. And if I could just give it one word, I would call it dramatic. I'm lost for words. I've got videos and photographs, and the music is playing of the singer there as well. St. Nicholas Church, it stands at 76 metres high, and it has 3 bells which are huge, and you can hear them ringing out every 30 minutes. as you pass around the city. It just echoes everywhere. Rightly so. Behind me, these are actually locked in glass, and these were the original robes from the 18th century that the priests used to wear here. The acoustics are just beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It doesn't echo it like it's out of tune. It's just, oh, it's beautiful. And imagine being here in the 18th century where everybody gathered and you were listening to the priest or the vicar. He's giving his sermon, and then the singers would start, and then Cher would come out live. She always makes an appearance every episode. I found this statue here, and it's quite a sad story, but also beautiful as well. So this is a statue of Father David, and he was from 1840, and for 16 years he carelessly looked after everyone in the leper colony, and he cared for them, fed them, looked after them all. And then sadly, after 16 years, he actually caught leprosy and he passed away himself. Getting around in Ghent is so easy. There's trams and buses everywhere, and the trams are literally zooming past all the time. Again, be careful because they zoom past you, and you just saw me step to the side, and that's how close you are to the tram tracks and to the pavement. So getting on the tram is €2.50. That lasts for 60 minutes, so you can get on, get off as much as you like. You can also share that ticket with the local buses as well. You can get day passes or even week passes, but for €2.50 for an hour, I think you'll be where you need to be. So it's up to you which way you want to go. I simply can't trust myself, so I'm now inside of what's called the old post office. So in 1898, this massive, huge, beautiful building used to be the old postal office, and it took 12 years to build, and it was under the hands of the postal service just up until I think 20 or 30 years ago, where it turned into this department store. Wonder how much I'm going to spend in here. And if you are visiting here, there are so many walking tours. All of the people behind me now, they offer, the locals offer free walking tours, and they take you around all the local places, and then they show everything off. and then you can decide how much you want to give them depending on how good you think that their service was. And it's kind of like history is repeating itself, because do you remember the noses, the sweets that I bought, which were here? So once upon a time, there were two vendors like there is today, one next to each other. And they both had an argument that they were selling the original product, and they ended up having a huge fight. And then they ended up knocking each other's carts over because they were trying to say that my product's real or my product's real, so they ended up having this big bust up. So I just went and asked the man there, I says, oh, were these the raspberry flavours? He says, did you buy them here? I says, no. He says, well, you bought the fake ones. Well, did I? Because I bought them from a proper shop rather than just off the street. And if I could give everyone one piece of advice about when you come here, step away from the main area if you want to eat something, you want to drink something, you want to buy something, because everything in this little square area, which is the main area, it's through the roof crazy prices. Like my waffles, 48 or 49 euros for 4 waffles with a bit of fruit and chocolate on top. So as I said yesterday, I do look like a horse eating through a picket fence, so I don't like doing food reviews, but I did want to show you a local delicacy here in Belgium. Okay, so this is one of the local dishes. It's like a deep fried sausage with onions on the top, with their local mayonnaise and French fries, which were originally made here in Belgium, and they're covered in paprika. And so this is 10 euros, but if you go into that square, you're paying nearly 25 euros. And like I say, just step off the main strip where the tourists are, and we're in this place, 10 euros. So 5 minutes later, finished, full. I did forget to tell you that it is covered in mayonnaise and it's covered in gravy too. So it's kind of like the Canadian dish, their delicacy, which is called poutine. But be very careful if you're in Canada and you're asking for that. Don't say the name of someone who sounds very similar to that. I'd like to order some, I'm not saying his name. So you have battered sausage, you have French fries covered in paprika, you have gravy, you have mayonnaise, over 10 euros. And it certainly helps when you've got a hangover from the Belgian beer the night before. There's also some very unique signs here. Now, I know what that one means. I'm kind of guessing what that one is. So I guess this is the adult zone because of these two logos here. Let's go have a look. So right behind me is the castle, which is in the centre of Ghent. Now, there are two ways that you can get in. You can buy an e-ticket, which you buy online, but you have to punch in your postal area or your postal code. But it wouldn't accept ours, so we couldn't buy them using the internet. And when we went to just get in the queue, we saw the queue was so long for people who also probably couldn't get an e-ticket. And we actually thought there's so many people queuing, how many people are inside? So we actually decided not to go into the castle, but we did get to see some churches, we've seen food, we've seen far too much chocolate, far too much Belgian beer, spent far too much money because the place is an absolute fortune, and we've seen far too many trams, and here comes another one, and it absolutely petrifies me to see these... Nora! To see these great big machines just ploughing towards you, people on bicycles and e-scooters. They'll just knock you down and they just don't care, I think. But so this was Ghent in Belgium. We literally have spent 23 hours here, not including some sleep time. We've seen quite a lot of things, and I hope that you've enjoyed seeing them too. If you did like it, please leave a thumbs up and please share it, and please leave a comment as well, and try and hopefully get my channel to grow a little bit. And there you are. I hope I've inspired you to pack a bag, go somewhere new, go and explore. And that brings us to an end. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all soon. Take care. Love you. Bye. I'm laughing already. So we read about this place called Patersol, and it's supposedly really beautiful and you've got to come and have a look. So we've came and had a look, and this is it behind us, and we'll move around, and you can't just throw a fountain into a bit of water and say, oh, this is beautiful, where you're walking around with people's rubbish bins. Don't motherfucking come in here. That won't make it to the video. It might be in fucking outtakes. Oh, look at it. Bag of fucking shit. Love you, bye. Oh, Stephen, you've got to stop. So right behind me is the So right behind me is the church, and it's not a fucking church. Oh, it's a castle. So what? Square kilometres. No, it's not kilometres, is it? It's what am I trying to say? Fucking not that. That's for sure. We tried to come to this beautiful, beautiful cathedral, but unfortunately it's closed. So a few more things famous about Belgium. They're famous for waffles. Oh, no, that's fucking wrong as well. Probably won't be able to make many videos. Fucking hell. Fucking rocket fuel. Going the outtakes and all. Off of the rivers that ran once upon a time. They don't fucking ran, they still fucking do run. So as I said yesterday, when I eat, I do look like a horse eating through a picket fence. But I needed to show you another local delicacy that they have here in... Fuck, where are we? Ghent. Stop.